Hello and welcome to my second video under the unemployment topic. And remember, low unemployment is one of the government macroeconomic objectives. And the diagrams that we need to know for unemployment include diagrams to represent structural unemployment and cyclical unemployment. I already did the structural unemployment video, so today I'm going to focus on the cyclical unemployment video. So cyclical unemployment is the kind of unemployment that appears when there is a recession, when the economy is in a recessionary gap. So first I'm going to talk about how we represented using the monetarist and new classical model. Cyclical unemployment is caused by a decrease in aggregate demand. As you can see in the monetarist new classical diagram, the decrease is from AD1 to AD2. So what happens when there's a decrease in aggregate demand is that real GDP falls from YP to YREC. REC stands for recessionary gap. Because of the decrease in aggregate demand and the economy is producing less than what its potential output is, unemployment rises above the NRU. Remember, the natural rate of unemployment is the unemployment that exists when the economy is producing YP. Whenever the economy is producing less than YP, or its full employment level of output, YFE, whenever the economy is producing less than its YP or YFE, the unemployment rate is higher than the NRU. The difference between the unemployment rate and the NRU, that's the cyclical unemployment. Remember, the NRU makes up the natural rate of unemployment, is made up of structural, frictional, and seasonal unemployment. Okay, so whenever the unemployment rate rises above the NRU, that means there is cyclical unemployment. Now, in the monetarist and new classical perspective, cyclical unemployment is actually not as alarming for them, hence the meh emoji that I have here. It doesn't alarm them that much because they believe that the economy is magical. The economy will self-correct in the long run. Why? Because wages will go down or business labor costs will go down, bringing unemployment back to the NRU. So a monetarist or a new classical economist doesn't worry too much about cyclical unemployment because to them that is by its nature temporary. Over time, wages will adjust, the economy will go back to its full employment level of output or potential output, and the unemployment rate will gravitate back to the natural rate of unemployment. So the implication of this idea that the economy will self-correct or self-adjust is that the government does not need to intervene. That would be the monetarist / new classical recommendation if there is cyclical unemployment, if the economy is experiencing a recessionary gap. In the long run, it will self-correct, wages or wage costs, labor costs will fall, and everything will go back to, the economy will go back to its potential output, and the unemployment rate will go back to the natural rate of unemployment. Now, in the next slide, I'm going to talk about the Keynesian perspective. So, cyclical unemployment in the Keynesian model, all right? And I have that here. It's diagram B right here, okay? So again, same causes. Cyclical unemployment is caused by a decrease in aggregate demand from AD1 to AD2. This is because either, C or I or G or net exports decreased, whatever the determinants, whatever might have caused that. Maybe it's low business and consumer confidence. Whatever is going on, there's a fall in aggregate demand from AD1 to AD2. So real GDP as a result falls from YP to YREC. Okay, YP is the potential output or the full employment level of output. YREC is a level of output where the economy is in a recessionary gap. And the unemployment rate rises above the NRU. Remember, NRU is made up of structural, seasonal, and frictional unemployment. Any unemployment above that is cyclical unemployment. So, the Keynesian perspective is that this is very alarming. You'll notice in the previous slide, I had a meh emoji. Here I have the screaming emoji. In the Keynesian perspective, a recession or a recessionary gap is alarming because they claim that wages are sticky downwards. Wages are actually downwardly inflexible, and there's a lot of real world data to back that claim up. And so they believe that the economy could get stuck in this recession, or things get worse. A severe and prolonged recession becomes a depression. Okay, so based on that, their recommendation is that the government actually needs to intervene. So remember, the main idea is cyclical unemployment is caused by a decrease in aggregate demand. When that happens, real GDP falls and the unemployment rate rises above the natural rate of unemployment. In the new classical monetarist perspective, this is not alarming. The government doesn't need to intervene because wages will adjust. But in the Keynesian perspective, this is alarming. Wages are downwardly inflexible. The government needs to intervene to help actually pull the economy out of recession. Let me know if you have any questions. Please like, share, subscribe. Check the video description below. You'll find a review worksheet to help you test yourself, test your understanding. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Consider becoming a member of the channel, and I'll see you next time with my inflation videos.